Hi, Andrey. Do you hear me fine?
Yes, I do. And you?
Oh, yes, absolutely the same. I hear you fine. So, I think we are live. Just waiting for confirmation from our participants. Where are you now?
I'm now in Ukraine.
Which
at home. The city's name is Dnipro. It's just in the middle of Ukraine.
how's the weather there?
It's perfect. Like very sunny, around 12 degrees outside. Yeah. So it's good to see it from my window.
Great.
What is the weather like in Sofia? Same?
It's snowing. It's
Oh.
snowing third day. Okay, Andrey, I'm very glad that you participate in our conference, and I think that your topic is really interesting and will be useful for all our audience. 550 attendees are watching now. The mic is yours. You can start now.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm glad to welcome you at my session and at the conference. Just a few words about my topic. So today we're going to talk about marketing mix modeling and how to define the optimal budget allocation among different digital marketing channels. And just a few words about myself. I'm VP Growth at Owox BI, and I specialize in business intelligence, analytics, and business development. So here, how you can reach me, just in case. And so just an update. So this is how you can usually see me now in stores. And this is how we are having fun with my wife at home, not to go crazy. And just a few words about my company. So the service that we are building helps to collect and combine data across different ad services in Google Analytics and BigQuery. We help to automate reports, to master marketing campaigns, and we provide AI-powered insights for digital marketing goals achievement. So today we're going to speak about what actually the challenges that we face nowadays in like digital marketing channels management and optimal budget allocation. Then secondly, we will have a look at how marketing needs evolve over time, like comparing to how it was like several years ago. I'm going to talk about how actually marketing mix modeling concept works and what is it all about. And in the end, I will share some tips that I see can be helpful in terms of what we have now and how do we need to adjust the strategy in terms of like online marketing to be competitive and to adapt to this new situation. So first, challenges. So one of the trends that like GAFA, like Google, Amazon, Facebook, and Apple, they are building their own walled gardens. So it's like a closed infrastructure where you have limited capabilities to manage and optimize your marketing campaigns, where you get some limitations of accessing the data. So you can basically invest in the channel, but there is less and less that you can do in terms of like optimization of your exact campaigns or keywords, and that's what they are doing better now, and where you have like limited capability to influence. So basically, it is now like less for human beings to decide and to do so distribution of budgets and bid adjustment across exact campaigns. So the main question becomes is where I need to invest more, in which channel, so not in which campaign, because there is this possibility now still, but it will go away in several years. And also, as you've seen, like in the end of the previous year and in the beginning of this year, that there were introduced some cookie collection, and processing limitations, which means that like businesses will even have less data for themselves about the users who visit their websites. So, but big players like Google, they still have the data. So here we need to adapt and influence what can be influenced by business. Then second is like channels mutual influence on each other. So basically, we need to understand what is the role of the channel in the funnel and where it works, like to create awareness about the brand or the product, whether to build a desire to purchase it, or whether to help people make the last step and make a purchase. And what will happen and how will sales shrink if some of the channels will be switched off. Then it is not, there is no marketing data towards which you can compare your own KPIs, like conversion rates and marketing campaigns efficiency in particular categories. So, also it's different to understand whether you reach the channel's capacity, because, for example, some attribution model can show that there is a big potential in some particular channel or campaigns, and it will recommend you to invest more. But probably you already, like, it is already reached by 95%, and more investment will only result into cost of customer acquisition increase, and not into like ROI increase or sales increase. So you need to be careful with investing more in like attractive campaigns. And also, like, now marketing professionals want to know the future, not the past. So it's switching from post-click and historical analysis to prediction and prescriptive analytics. So I will just let me show how the marketing needs evolve. So if the initial request from marketing to analytics guys was to like give me some traffic and audience reports. So I just need to get some insights about what people that are coming to the websites are doing. Okay, so just install the basic analytics JS snippet and everything will be fine. And then like they crave for more and more insights. I mean, the marketing guys and analysts had to invent new and new approaches and solutions. So, and then they wanted like to analyze the raw data, then they wanted to make it real time, like both build automatically updated dashboards and have possibilities for ad hoc reporting. And now we came to the point when marketing tell, I don't want to do anything, like just let the data tell me what to do. So, and at the moment, like analysts don't have like the universal answer to this, and they said, okay, challenge accepted. Let me think what I can do for you in this space. And so, what is not changed? Like the path to conversion is still complicated. So, like maybe now it's like, I mean, less complicated because there is less offline. So people, let's say, like switching to online, and you can measure their journey to your website and on your website. But I mean, it's still very complicated, and customer journey to a conversion, like it's not this straightforward. So here, it's still the same. And but the motivation of different marketing team players remains the same. So a marketing analyst wants to spend less time on routine, like automate what is possible to automate, and like invest in his education to remain an expert in the market and just do interesting stuff, not just copy paste the data from one service to another. Marketing manager wants to get a bonus for reaching the target KPI values. So actually, it's not that important like which channel to use. It's important whether by this investment they will hit their goals. A marketing director wants to get a promotion or keep his job or get an annual bonus, and he needs like to fulfill the sales plan for the year. And so in these conditions, I mean, when marketing craves more, like we run for constant growth and improvements. So and walled gardens and other changes and trends in the market. So we need to adapt our our approach to all of this. So here comes the marketing mix modeling concept for help, and basically it analyzes. So the concept is about like analyzing advertising of all the business offerings on the market, and to measure the potential value of marketing channels from the sales growth perspective. So basically, MMM is focused on developing a digital marketing strategy that will, like by investment in the right channels, will help to improve the company's KPI measures and profit in the end, of course. So basically, the key question is where to invest on the high level. And how does the flow look like in our case? So we were building it for ourselves and for some of the projects. So I'm sharing our journey of how we were doing this. So first you need to collect data. So we do it in BigQuery, but actually you can use any any cloud solution like that. And the key requirement is for this solution to be able to store and process large amounts of data at a fast pace, at as low cost as possible, and to be like very flexible and have integrations with other services in this infrastructure. Then data has to be prepared and merged. Let's say like user behavior data needs to be combined with the cost data about how much we invest in marketing channels and in traffic acquisition, and with the revenue data both from online purchases and from the CRM if there are any like purchases done in the offline points or via the call or in some other way like on mobile. Then we calculate the channel's contribution evaluation and taking into account their mutual influence. So we calculate what is the probability that conversion in some particular like channels sequence will decrease if some of the channels will be switched off. And we calculate the importance and role of each channel, and we define the role it plays and in which funnel step. Then we build first reports based on the historical data. It is done to calculate how our sales, how like different marketing channels performed in the past, have an exact budget for that, and how it scored in terms of sales and ROI. So it needs to educate the model. Then we calculate the cost of customer acquisition and budget correlation. So it means we calculate what is the point in time when each extra like dollar spent will increase cost of customer acquisition significantly. So when is the point in time when we need to stop investing in particular channel? And then we calculate the initial recommendations based on historical data and the trained ML model. And after that, an automatic report is being built to constantly deliver recommendations to decision makers and for them to implement. So the thing is that there is a possibility to, for example, do it automatically, like dynamically, when you calculated the bid adjustment and the budget for campaigns, let's say in Google, and you can deliver the data directly to the ad service. But here's the thing, that not every time a model has 100% complete data, like about channel capacity, or there might be some new campaigns that did not have enough historical performance data. And to the AI algorithm, this campaign will be like underperforming because it generated it doesn't have enough data sufficient to make a precise prediction, or it might have still low conversion rate. So, but like even if it's promising, it will not recommend to invest there. And marketing manager and planner can take into consideration those points that cannot be seen in the data. And based on AI recommendations and their expertise can make the best decision. And then at last, we automate this process to adjust recommendations on a regular basis, and to feed the new data to the model, and to adjust and compare the results of our prediction with initial predictions to check how precise they was and what needs to be adjusted in the algorithm. And then we automate the results report. So the data schema in our case looks like that. So BigQuery or other marketing or other solutions for data lake, which is cloud-based. Then add services where you invest. First, it's building like a pipeline to get historical data. Like, for example, for that, we use our own service, which is called Owox BI pipeline. But you can use anything, or like use the direct API. It's just a question about how much time you need to save on routine operations to focus on something else. Then, like to get data, historical data about user behavior. Like preferably, if you're a big project, it might be sampled if you export it directly from Google Analytics. But even if so, like you still need to find a way to get historical data, even if it's aggregated, or then use some solutions that help you get unsampled data as well. Then you connect your CRM and ERP to get 100% correct transaction and revenue data, to get a precise calculations for predictions. And then you automate integrations to get a constantly updated new upcoming data to adjust your recommendations. And this is how the input data structure looks like. So at least it has to have so everything must be on a session level or better hit level. So you need to define like each session ID and to be able to attribute the cost and revenue for each exact session. Then it has to be enriched with user ID. So you can build the like user level analytics, and so it's at least these parameters are obligatory to run it. And if to talk about the agenda, so first you need to allocate micro conversions according to the framework I will share with you. Then you need to define the channel's role in user conversion, and then you need to select an appropriate ML algorithm, and it might differ in each particular case. And for different businesses, it might be different. So there are dozens of well-performing algorithms at the moment, and in each case, you need to test which one performs the best. And then you evaluate channel's historical performance. So just a few words about AIDA framework. Like all of you know about that. So the question is how to put it into action for online marketing. So basically, you need so the only like in setting up all this, like besides the different services integration, is to define what are the events that that can be used as a signals to define where in the process of AIDA funnel our user is. So so if he sends us these signals, like visiting the web page or adding a product to the shopping cart, or like subscribing to some newsletter, where in the AIDA stage he is. So basically, you need to pick up those micro conversions that will be precisely speaking about like whether he's already like considering your product or he got acquainted with your brand. And if the extra is good, then you would see that like visually good distribution. So you see that there are some events happening like in the upper stage of the funnel, in the middle, and the end. I mean, if you selected some micro conversions that can be like signals in any part of the funnel, then you might see some mess and you might not be able to use that framework. And if you did everything correct, then you will see this picture. What are the channels and services that that mostly work for like building awareness or signalizing about the interest, creating desire, and puts user to action. And just a few words about the attribution and a view on on how different channels are interfering and influencing each other. So basically, advertising channels are under pressure from each other, and basically, a last click is only a view on of the funnel. So and here during the user customer journey, they can have different roles in different funnel stages. So some channels like display ads, you can see that they are working more on the awareness, and they help to start considering some service or product of the company, but they are not very good in conversion. If you look at this report from the last click perspective, they might look like not efficient for you. And when you switch it off, basically all total sales might shrink. So, and it will be difficult to explain why it happened. So basically, it's according to your report, that channel could have played a role of, let's say, percent, bringing you 10% of all the sales amount. But when you turn it off, it could your sales could shrink up by 25 or 30 or 50%. So no one knows. So to not make a mistake here, you need to define how does the channel contribute to sales, how much will sales drop if you disable the channel, and what is the how does the channel think it actually influence your visitors' purchasing behavior. And so for that, last click model is not enough. You need to use some sophisticated models like data-driven to understand the probability of converting and contribution of each channel, or funnel-based model, which helps you to define what is the role that plays each channel on every stage of the funnel. And if to talk about recommendations, so the flow is the following. First, we need to define the correlation between how much we invest and how it influences our total spend overall and across the channels. Then we need to calculate the channel's capacity and define what is the ML algorithm that we need to use just in this case. And then the last, we need to automate recommendations. So we don't do this process manually every time. So how it works? To calculate the correlation, we need to know how each additional dollar spent impacts our channels and number of transactions and the cost of customer acquisition. So we basically to calculate the channel capacity, we using different formulas and ML algorithm. We define what is the percentage of capacity reached for a particular channel. So it means that additional a slight increase will be influencing the decrease of our ROI. So basically, based on that, if we find that point on the chart, it means that the campaigns we invest that came down to that point are already with maximum capacity. So there is no need to run new campaigns in the channel. Even if campaigns are efficient, we don't need to invest more. We need to search for some other channels to invest, or we need to redistribute some. If we invest too much and we already have higher ROI than we can, we need to extract some budget out of that channel and invest it in another one. And it's calculated based on the historical data and marketing data from relevant niches. And then we need to train our ML algorithm and deploy it to be working automatically. For that, several technologies can be used, some for pipeline, GCP infrastructure, because it's really well integrated, both with the different machine learning tools and as well as with the ad services. It's possible to automate calculations data delivered directly to Facebook or directly to Google and you need some like R or Python to launch these calculations, and like some Google Sheets for ad hoc reporting, which is used often by marketers because like you don't need to know like SQL for that, and you can use it like build pivot tables to do all this and to measure. And just a few words about technologies in Google Cloud that might be used. So just to like, it's actually a myth that it's like very difficult to start adopting some ML algorithm. You can basically start from just deploying the AutoML or CloudML APIs. Like you need maybe the involvement of developer to connect all this, and then you can deploy and test the algorithms yourself. You just connect the tools to the data that you have in BigQuery datasets. Then BigQuery ML works a bit the same, but it's more suitable for SQL analysts, which can deploy directly in the SQL queries. And it just requires the basic understanding of ML. And to have more precise results, and for like, let's say, more industry professional solutions, it's better to use TensorFlow, where you can deploy different ML algorithm and test it, and they will be really like they can be reliable and more precise. But for that you need like higher expertise, and you need to have you might need to have a data science scientist in your team as well. And so this is how the infrastructure looks like. This is how the raw data is being collected. So it's collected via BigQuery, processed with the help of Cloud Data Flow along to cloud storage. It gets cleaned on the way by some tools like Google Cloud Data Prep, for example. And when we get all the data cleaned and rinsed, we push it to the model, select it, and connect it from the TensorFlow. And then when we train the model, we deploy it and connect with the project's data, and we deploy the automatic data exchange, so we can feed the model with the new update, with the new data, and it could be educated on a regular basis. And then this is the infrastructure for historical data analysis, and then like tables where we make forecast, like with Compute Engine, and deliver to BigQuery, and then where we combine the data about plan and fact to monitor actually how recommendations ran, and where they are successful or not, and how do we need to adjust the model to make them more correct in the future. And then the dashboards that with the KPIs that are needed to be constantly monitored, like ROI on the channel level, like conversion rates and all the rest. We use like Data Studio for that, or also Tableau or Power BI or any other solutions for dashboarding can be used. And for ad hoc reporting, it could be directly in the BigQuery interface or using Google Sheets. So, and this is what we get in the end. So basically, the algorithm tells what is the platform for which you need to, like, what is the, like, from date X to date Y. So for a particular period, you need to buy a particular number of impressions or clicks for some other platform for a particular budget, and it will result in some number of transactions or conversions at this CPM or CPC, and these transactions or conversions like will be generated out of this amount of sessions. So basically, the rest the marketing expert needs to do is to evaluate whether there are no some campaigns that we cannot deploy where there is not enough data. Like example I gave, which campaigns are new and which needs to be defined and adjusted manually. And the rest is left is to purchase the needed number of different traffic and monitor how it's scored into results. So the example of such recommendations could be like this. So we define how many impressions, clicks, is to be bought, for which budget, and how many results, like what results they will generate. Also, I prepared some marketing strategy adjustment tips in terms of the like our changing era where we are now. And so I will not obviously put here that you need to cut budget on the unnecessary stuff. You already did that. Like like all the businesses are in the let's say saving power mode. So everyone expects what will come next, how long we'll get that virus pandemic, and like how long we can expect the crisis to last, and what will be the consequences, and what will be the total drop in the market. But like over some time, we'll all realize that we need to move. We need to do something differently. So my recipe in this situation is the following. So first, calculate your unit economy if you haven't done it yet, and focus on both on traffic acquisition KPIs like cost of customer acquisition, CPO, ROI, ROAS, like conversion rate of each channel, CPA, and other metrics. Focus on customer metrics like ARPU. It's like average revenue per user, KPI like used by subscription companies and especially by telecoms, like LTV. And very important are two last KPIs. First is the LTV to CAC ratio. For every business industry, there is a benchmark, and you can find these numbers and compare it whether you like how far are you from that benchmark, or whether you are following the benchmark, which means that your business is doing good currently. And what is the payback period? Is basically what is the period starting from the customer acquisition where his purchase amount will repay the customer acquisition cost that you spent. It is very important. And again, as for LTV CAC ratio, there is a formula and benchmark for that. So do calculate these KPIs to understand how your business is doing, and use them as the like North Stars to adjust all your marketing strategy. Second, like use the power of data. So it is very important while some marketing activities reduce to establish the correct data collection, because like sheet in, sheet out, and combine data to build end-to-end analytics. It is very, very important to understand everything what people are doing, and as people are now switching to online, so it means that you will have more capability. So you will have more opportunities to calculate the bigger share of your user base, because in online their behavior is measurable, unlike offline. And next step is to establish smart reporting. So I would suggest avoid focusing on dashboards. I mean, by dashboards, I mean like charts that are monitored on the regular basis, where you constantly like need to see transactions, like conversions, and some KPIs key to the business. So don't build new dashboards now. So focus more on ad hoc reporting, which means that because the terms for planning will be shorter, it could be like on a daily, weekly basis, or at least monthly. So you don't know what you will focus on like next week, or I mean in 1 month. So try to build data sets that will be flexible and good source for your pivot tables. So focus on ad hoc instead of dashboarding. Then automate routine. So because it is very important to keep an eye on the big picture. So now, like when everything, there is a lot of stuff happening around, it is very important not to lose that insight, and not and like take some time to observe the situation from above, from a side, so you don't get stuck in the routine and starting doing everything and not getting any result at all. So try to automate what you can to save time for considering your decisions, working on the key tasks that only you can do, and for keeping an eye on the big picture. And the last, like, focus. So invest in the most efficient channels, like run your customer base segmentations, like RFM analysis, like LTV analysis, and cohorts, like based on when people joined your database. And it will give you the insights of what segments you can target. For example, there are some people that are still loyal to brands. They cut their expenditures, but they still support the brand. So you need to define who are they. And for their acquisition and retention, you can spend more budget than for the rest, or you can respond to their loyalty with some additional discounts and to keep them involved. So yeah, so that's all. And I would be happy to answer your questions if we still have some time. And here is the link to download in the presentation. And if you want to connect and ask some questions, I will be happy to help. So please go ahead.
Andrey, thank you very much for this great presentation. One moment. I don't see any questions in the top chat. Sorry for that. I'm sure that your presentation, your slides were very useful, and I will be very appreciate you if you can add some real case study screenshots from some reports that you mentioned. I believe that it will help to understand more this material and kind of reports that you mentioned on your slides, and we will add it in the presentation. And after that, I really believe that everybody will understand more and will touch you directly by email or LinkedIn.
Okay, sure. I will add them in the slides. So there are some ready-made templates, evenly for Data Studio, which you can use.
Great.
Just connect the data set that you have.
Okay, thank you very much, Andrey. It's still 500 attendees online. Thank you very much, and this virtual applause are for you.